How do you explain to your wife that the children she has been lovingly raising were never abandoned but stolen from the arms of mad women? Ayodele thought he had buried his shame beneath wealth and silence, but now the cries of the forgotten are breaking through. Some sins don't stay silent forever. Ayodele jolted awake in his mansion, heart racing, as the ghost from his past whispered, "Your time is up." Everything he built was falling apart, and deep inside, he knew why. The night was very quiet. The only sound Ayodele could hear was the ticking of the big gold clock on the wall. He was breathing heavily. Sweat covered his body like he had just run a marathon. His heart pounded fast. He looked around his beautiful room in his big Lagos mansion. Everything was fine, but the fear from the dream still gripped him tightly. He had seen something terrible in his dream. A ghost with red eyes chased him through a dark forest. It screamed his name and said, "Your time is up." He ran, but the ghost was faster. Just when the ghost was about to catch him, he woke up. Ayodele sat on the bed, shaking. "What kind of dream is this?" he whispered to himself. Then he remembered the call he received the day before. One of his biggest companies had caught fire. Everything inside was gone, burnt to ashes. And before that, a ship carrying his goods sank in the ocean. He had lost millions. He held his head in his hands. Why is all this happening? 15 years ago, things were very different. Back then, Ayodele was so poor. People laughed when they saw him. His wife and son would go to bed hungry. He didn't even have money for food or rent. He used to beg his friend, Bolade, every week. "Bolade, please, can you help me with little cash, or even if it's foodstuff? My wife and son has not eaten since yesterday." One day, Bolade got tired. "Ayodele," he said, "you can't keep begging me forever. Let me show you how to get rich." Ayodele was surprised. "Really? You have a business idea?" Bolade laughed. "Not really a business, but you will never be poor again." That day, Bolade took Ayodele to the edge of Lagos. They entered an old house. Inside sat an old man with a long white beard and red beads on his wrists. The air smelled like herbs and smoke. "This is Baba," Bolade said. "He helped me become rich." Ayodele was nervous. The old man looked at him for a long time, then spoke slowly. "You want to be rich?" "Yes, Baba," Ayodele said, his voice shaking. "Then you must do something brave. You will sleep on the grave of a rich man for 7 nights. Ayodele's mouth opened wide. "Grave? Baba, that's too much. Is there no simpler task?" Bolade laughed loudly. "Did you think I became rich for free? I gave up something precious. My manhood. That's why I can't have children." Ayodele couldn't believe his ears. His friend had given up such a big thing for money. This is a tight corner I'm in. "I need time to think," Ayodele said. "That's fine then. Whenever you're ready, you know where to find me," Baba said. "At least by now, you already know that there is no dignity for a poor man," Bolade added. They left Baba's house and drove back to Lagos. He couldn't sleep that night. His wife and child lay beside him, fast asleep, but his heart was heavy. He remembered how people mocked him, how debts piled up, how he once cried at the bus stop because he had no money to go home. The next morning, he made up his mind. The sun was setting when Ayodele and Bolade returned to Baba's house. Baba smiled. "So you are ready?" "Yes, Baba," Ayodele said firmly. "Good, take this," Baba said, handling Ayodele a small charm. "It's been fortified. Take it to the cemetery and always have it on for the 7 nights." "Okay, Baba, thank you," Ayodele said. Bolade and Ayodele drove to a cemetery that night. The gatekeeper was an old man in his 40s. "How may I help you?" he said. "We need your help, but first take this." Bolade gave him 200,000 naira cash. The man's eyes widened. "What do you want?" "We need a rich man's grave," Bolade said. The gatekeeper looked around, then pointed to a large marble grave. "He was very rich, died just last week." That night, Ayodele laid on the cold grave. The wind whispered strange sounds. Every bone in his body told him to run, but he stayed. It was too late to give up now. He slept there for 7 nights. The experience was terrible for him. He had a lot of nightmares, like plenty ghosts pursuing him with cutlasses. But he was brave and already made up his mind that he was never going to be poor again. On the last night, Baba came with red clothes, candles, and a bowl filled with strange liquid. He chanted for hours, then he poured the liquid on Ayodele. "It is done," Baba said, and Ayodele went home. Almost immediately, Ayodele's life changed completely. He was sitting in front of his Face Me and Face You apartment when a young man came down from a car holding a briefcase. He walked towards Ayodele. "Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Ayodele?" the man said. "Yes, I am. Good afternoon," Ayodele said. "Okay, our company wants to give you a contract. Here's everything you need to know about it in this briefcase. Our contact is also there." He handed Ayodele the briefcase. "I'm coming. Let me pick something important from the car," the young man said and walked towards his car. He entered into the car and drove off. Ayodele was shocked to see the man driving off. He ran after the car to try and stop him, but the car was faster. He took the briefcase to his room to check if he could see the man's contacts. He sat down and opened the briefcase and was shocked at the contents. The briefcase was filled with dollar notes and no contacts whatsoever. Ayodele almost ran mad, but he didn't shout. He waited for days to see maybe the man who handed him the briefcase would come back, but he didn't. Then he started spending the money. He opened businesses. He and his family moved to a mansion in Lekki. Cars filled his compound. Money flowed like water. Life was sweet. But now, 15 years later, things were falling apart. He had received a lot of bad news concerning his businesses and investments. Then he thought it was time to visit Baba and explain all that was happening to him. That morning, Ayodele drove straight to Baba's place. "Baba, something is wrong. My companies are burning, my goods are missing, and just this morning, I had a nightmare. A ghost was pursuing me and telling me time is up. Please help me, Baba." Baba looked serious. "Well, I have been expecting you. The ghost has come for renewal. You must renew your wealth." "How, Baba?" Ayodele asked. Baba's voice was cold. "Find 3 mad women, sleep with them, get them pregnant. When they give birth, take the babies home, raise them as your own." Ayodele's mouth dropped open. "What? That's madness. Me? Sleep with mad women? And mad women should give birth for me? Ha! No, Baba, that's extreme. Help me find something else." No other options. If you can't do it, then prepare to lose everything. This time, you won't just be poor, you will run mad." Ayodele couldn't believe what he had heard. How could he sleep with mad women? What would he tell his wife? How would he raise children that are not from his wife? And mad women's children? He went home and sat alone in his room. Hey lovelies! Today's big shout out goes to Oma Bright, watching from Burkina Faso, and Matilda from Ghana. I see you, I appreciate you 100%. If you want a shout out in my next video, drop your nickname and location in the comments. Lots of love from me to you all. Mwah! But the fear of going mad scared him more than the strange instruction. That week, he began searching. The first mad woman he found was dancing in the middle of the road, naked, singing a song no one could understand. People threw stones at her, but she didn't stop. Ayodele watched from behind a tree. He waited till nightfall to know where she usually goes to sleep. He followed and monitored her, When the street was empty, he approached her and quickly touched her with a charm Baba gave him for her to be unconscious. She growled like an animal when she saw him. Ayodele's hand shook, but she started getting unconscious. Her eyes rolled back and she fell silent. That night, under the broken bridge, he did the unthinkable. He ran home trembling. The second mad woman was harder to find. She stayed near the railway tracks and spoke to the sky. She had long hair, full of sands and sticks. She attacked anyone who came near. Ayodele waited for days, watching her from a distance. On the first night, when rain fell like stones, she curled under a tree to sleep. Ayodele crept close, heart beating fast. Again, he used the charms. She became unconscious and he slept with her that night. The third mad woman was different. She was young, maybe 20. Her madness was quiet. She sat under a mango tree every day, staring at the ground. Ayodele watched her for days. Sometimes she cried, sometimes she smiled. Something about her made his chest feel tight, but he remembered the promise. Sleep with 3 mad women, collect their babies, become rich again. On the night he approached her, he hesitated. She looked at him with clear eyes, as if she was not truly mad. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. Ayodele froze. "You can talk?" She ignored the question. "You will soon meet your doom," she said as she laughed wickedly. Ayodele turned to run, but he remembered Baba's instruction. Then be prepared to become poor and run mad. "No, I can't give up now." He turned back and touched her with a charm. She became unconscious. Her eyes dimmed. The mango tree watched silently as Ayodele completed the third task. Months passed. All 3 women were pregnant. Ayodele visited them secretly, hiding in corners, making sure no one noticed. He gave them food, made them comfortable. 9 months later, Ayodele hired people to watch over them secretly. The moment they gave birth, he sent his men to take the babies and hire a nurse to take care of them for a few days. He told his wife, "Darling, I found 3 abandoned babies near the bridge. I couldn't just leave them. Can we adopt them?" His wife was shocked, but also touched. "That's very thoughtful of you, dear. It's fine. Let's take care of them. After all, I can have children to play with since our son is in the university and he hardly come home." Ayodele smiled. The plan had worked. His business started booming again. New contracts came in. Money returned, this time much more than the previous. One sunny morning, Ayodele was reading a newspaper when he heard shouting at the gates. He rushed outside. His gateman was arguing with 3 mad women. "Leave this place," the gateman shouted. "We want our babies. Give us our babies." They screamed and danced. Ayodele came out quickly and pulled the gateman aside. He handed the mad woman some money. "Here, take this and leave this place." The woman grabbed the money but didn't leave immediately. "Okay, take care of our baby. Buy them sweets, buy them chewing gum." They said as they left, displaying madness. That night, Ayodele couldn't sleep. He kept hearing the mad women's voices in his head. Days passed. The women kept coming back. Ayodele's wife was worried. "Why do these mad women keep coming here?" she said. He told his wife the women were just beggars, but the tension grew stronger. Then, one terrible afternoon, Ayodele and his wife went out for an event. They left the children at home with the housekeeper. When they returned, the house was in chaos. The gateman was bleeding. The housekeeper was shaking. They came, the gateman said, his voice weak. "They beat us. They took the children." "What?" Ayodele screamed. "You let them take the children? Your job is over in this house. You people are telling me you cannot take care of 3 children, 3 small children?" "They overpowered us, sir. They were like animals." Ayodele jumped into his car and drove around, checking all the places the women usually stayed. But they were gone. They were nowhere to be found. He went to Baba and told him, "Baba, the mad women came to pick their babies." "How could you be so careless? You better find them before 7 days." or else your life will be so miserable and everything you've gathered will be gone in the blink of an eye. Ha! Baba, please help me, Ayodele begged. There is nothing I can do about it. You have just 7 days to look for them. For 7 days, Ayodele searched and searched. No sign of the mad women or the children. He barely ate. He barely slept. His wife cried every night, not knowing the truth. Then, on the 8th day, all Ayodele's investments crashed all at once. His companies got burnt. Ayodele felt a heavy weight in his chest. He started hearing whispers. The ghost from his dream returned, standing beside his bed, laughing. "You failed," it whispered. "Now you pay." Ayodele screamed and ran out of his house in his pajamas. The next minute, he was found under a bridge, speaking to himself and laughing. News spread quickly. People said the rich man had gone mad. Then he began confessing. People gathered around Ayodele as he sat under the bridge. His clothes were dirty, his hair was rough, his lips trembled as he spoke to no one in particular. "I impregnated them. I took their babies. I took the babies from the mad women. Baba told me to do it, that I will be very rich. I slept on the grave for 7 nights. The crowd gasped. Some brought out their phones to record. Others just stared in disbelief. This was Ayodele, the billionaire with houses in Banana Island, cars that looked like spaceships, and businesses everywhere. Now he sat like a madman, barefoot and confused. It was the only way. Baba said if I didn't, I'd be poor again. I had no choice. I had really suffered in the past, Ayodele said, displaying madness. Back in his mansion, his wife had already heard the news. A neighbor showed her a video on his phone. "Is this your husband?" she asked. She covered her mouth and burst into tears. So Ayodele did ritual to get rich and I didn't know. Ayodele has ruined my life, oh, she cried. The news spread fast. Blogs carried the story. Lagos billionaire confesses to dark rituals with mad women. Everyone was shocked. People who used to greet Ayodele with smiles now whispered behind his back. They called him Olori Boroko, meaning a cursed man. Days after Ayodele ran mad, the mad women returned with their babies and people started seeing them again. Their family came to collect the babies from them and took care of them. After a few days, Ayodele's wife, who was alone in the house, started hearing strange voices. She could no longer sleep peacefully without having dreams of ghosts pursuing her. It became worse and worse and got to a point that the ghost started appearing to her physically and pursued her out of the house. She ran out of the house without picking a pin. The house became abandoned ever since then and nobody could enter it. Ayodele's wife tried to rebuild her life honestly. She started doing menial jobs, helped people to carry their loads on her head for money. People will point at her and say, "Isn't she the rich man's wife?" She later learned to ignore them. By this time, her son had already finished school and gotten a job in a good company. He already knew everything that his father had done. He gathered enough money and rented an apartment. He came back home to pick his mother to come live with him. As they drove off, they saw Ayodele under the bridge displaying madness. They wept bitterly and drove off. The end.
If you enjoyed this story and want more, please subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon for new video notifications. You can also check out some of the videos here. Thank you for watching. Remain blessed.